Wow. Hello, everybody. That looks a bit grubby. I wonder why that. Well, that's a bit better. I'm just cleaning the camera, don't mind me. Um, okay, that's a bit better. Although, jeepers, what's that? So it's Wednesday today. We're just over 2 weeks in, and we didn't get the press release out today because it's 12:30 at night, midnight in China, and I told Jane go to sleep because I was lagging behind catching photos and bits and pieces. So the press release will go out tomorrow now, which is Thursday, which is better than Friday. There's a funny story with that. We never want to send a press release out on Friday because it's a bad day. Everyone's going home and it's not news and all that sort of thing. But invariably, as it works out, it always seems to be going out on Fridays. But this will be a Thursday morning one. Excuse me. So that's cool. And I think I'll go straight into the tracker and then we'll talk about a couple of little things. It's going to be slowly but surely as the rest of the fleet comes down. Hello, Ian from Ireland. That's cool. Got lots of Irish sailors up there, and Jacob's there. So, but we'll talk about his stuff later. His little video clip, which is great. So yeah, it's going to be. There's still some of the fleet catching up to get into the trades proper, but the weather's doing strange things. But at least they're all moving, so that's kind of cool. And this is going to now, in the next few days, get back into the routine of trade winds one day after the other. So let's get rid of me and jeepers, I'm going over to the tracker before you guys get the tracker. I've done that more than once. Sit here, do the tracker all the way, and you're not even looking at it. But there it is. So there's the tracker. You've got it. I've got it. This is like a cockpit check sheet as you're coming into land or take off. So we can just get Gary on. Look at that. Gary's heading southwest. He's got a bit of a nice breeze up there to come down, and Renaud, he's just off it. Hang on, I've got to split the difference. There we go. We've got nearly got the whole fleet on the page. So Renaud's still charging away, and the others are chasing as best they can, and all looking kind of cool. So let's just look at what Gary's doing first. Gary is heading down in this nice breeze, but he's only doing 2 knots. I'm wondering whether there's a current holding him up, because this is sort of like 10 to 12 knots here, if that colour's right. But if he's only doing 2 knots, we'll have a look at the current, seeing we're talking Gary, and that's relevant. Yeah, he's got a little bit of a head current there. Anyway, he'll be out of that shortly. So he's probably doing a little bit better than what it's saying. He's probably doing 3 knots now. 60 mile day, not too bad. And he'll be happy to get down there. So the current will be gone, it'll be down to the wind, but there's still a few holes up there, more so down the bottom. Seeing as how we've now got the current page, let's have a look. The current page being not the previous page or the further on page, no pun intended. Renaud's not in current, but he's just about there, and Ayrton's getting a good kick. Ayrton's doing 5.1, 93 mile a day. He's got that current. Everyone else is around the edge, but there's certainly no bad current there. Dan and Kerry are just out of the current. Marks are down the back there. Josh is just coming into it. Jasmine, let's hope it holds. I'm going to scan this back a little bit so we can see what's going on here with this big cycle. And while we're there, I'm going to hit that and just push it through just to get a picture of the currents. Getting stronger up the front for that highway, but the rest of it at the back for the middle, the rear end of the fleet, it's all favourable anyway. There's nothing really that's going to be a problem. I didn't look at Gary in that one. So yeah, Gary's going to get a bit of a kick as well. So the current is all positive for sure for the next few days. There's 3 days. There was some discussion here about how long that one's going to last, but let's see. The current's not rolling over. I've moved the date, but the internet is a bit slow. It's not caught up with it, I don't think. Nothing's changing. That's unusual. Yeah. Maybe the data, probably the reason for that is that sometimes the current data, they only do 3 days. Yeah, let's see when it stops. It depends. It varies. Sometimes they do a week, so it's still varying there. It's still changing. Then it stops. Okay, so that's to the 12th. It's only 3 days ahead, and then it stops. So they've got a 3-day forecast for the current. So the next 3 days is all good news. They're all getting a free ride. So we'll go back to the. Let's check temperature. Seeing we're here. Still nothing change in temperature except at night time it gets cooler and the trade winds will be better because the winds are hooking up from the south. So it's cooler down here, obviously. There's 10 degrees, 15 degrees, and the wind's coming up from the bottom there where it's cooler and chuffing around. So the trade winds should cool it down just a little bit. And clouds, that should give us an indication. Yep, fluffies. So when you get this fluffy stuff, that's absolute trade winds. You get this stuff up here, that's rain and bits and pieces. So they're out of that, generally speaking, and they should get less and less. There's a carryover here with the squalls and everything they talk about at night time, and they're all talking about lots of rain, which is kind of good because they've all should have managed to top up their tanks, which is a good way to be because some were drinking a lot of water. Dan was doing 5 litres a day, which is crazy. I've never been in sailing conditions where I've had to drink that much. But obviously it's hot and sticky, high humidity, so you perspire a lot and things like that. But 5 litres, that was, oh boy. But most of them were doing 2, 3, 4 litres. Oh, well, it was a mix. So they should have topped up their tanks. That's cool. Pressure's not worth looking at. Rain's not a problem. That's all there. So back to wind and back into the general discussion of what's going on and how's everyone doing. So Josh, down the back end, he's got 4.2 knots, 91 miles. 91's okay. That's the average since Panama. Jasmine, 3.7, 92 mile day. So Josh can't catch her. That's kind of cool as well. And Jacob, 4.5. Still haven't heard what happened to the wind pilot. He's not talking about it now, and he's still sailing, so it must be fixed, whatever it was. He didn't sound happy before. Adam, not sure where he's going, doing 4.2 knots, 93, but he's heading, I'm not sure why he's going that way, heading down, but that's fine. He's still got boat speed, which is all good. Eric, 5.2, that's quite impressive. 96, that's better than 91. Again, it's still in the middle of the fleet. Dan Turkey sent me a message the other day. What did he send me the message for? Yesterday? No, this morning. Jeepers, what was that about? I completely forgot. Jeepers. He sent me a message. I'll look when we're doing the questions. It wasn't super important, but anyway. 5.1 knots, that's pretty cool. He's definitely on the move. 118 miles. And Ayrton, 5.1, but he only did 93. So 93 is not as good as 118. And Dan is on the move. He was still 5.5, that's okay, 134. Back on track. She had a soft one yesterday, for sure, but 134, that's really impressive. It makes me want to sneak on Renaud. Here it comes. Dung, 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 137. Jeepers, no one can keep up with him. He must have a secret ingredient for the cakes or the bread or whatever. Anyway, that's cool. Kerry, 5.5, 149. Jeepers, hang on a minute. Crikey, wait for this. That's pretty cool. Jeepers, that's encouraging. That is really encouraging. So, taking on Holiday Dan, 143. Jeepers, that's working well. So, let's be hypothetical here, seeing we only don't have a lot to talk about. Renaud 137, Kerry 149, that's 12 miles. 12 miles a day for the next 20 days, that's 240 miles. Ooh, you could pass Renaud. So Renaud will be laughing now if he's listening to this. Anyway, but that's very encouraging because it looks as if they're similar weather patterns, but something's going on there, and I've got no idea what it is. But, well, this should have been bigger. We're not looking at the bigger screen here. Sorry about that, everybody. This might look a bit better. But, yeah, that's really cool. So let's just see what they look like from this perspective. There to there. 80 miles behind. It did 12 miles, so you can see how long it'd take. Let's just assume it's going to be like another 12 miles. So it's going to be so you can do it in 6 days, I suppose. A week. So at that rate, if he was keeping that distance, it'll take a week for him to catch up. But as he gets closer, then the weather will be the same for both of them, and then it'll be on again. but that's kind of fun. I think I've passed everyone on that lot. Um, so that's pretty impressive, though. That's a top speed for this leg of the race. So since Panama, Kerry's nailed the top speed there for sure, 149. Although no, hang on a sec. I think I saw someone do 150 with the current. That was Dan, I think, Canadan. Anyway, it's impressive and it's encouraging. So Mark down here doing 3.8 knots. So yeah, that's really encouraging. Keep the action happening. Should we look at the leaderboard? I think it's still too far away because it's talking about Fiji, but that's life. Renaud, let's see what the distance difference is. You can see. Okay, distance of the finish. It's showing Renaud distance to the finish is 5164, and Kerry distance to the finish 5249. So there's 49 and 36. 49 and 36, 50, 60, 70, 80. So, oh yeah, it's about right, 80 something. So not too bad. The only thing that this is good for at the moment is looking at ETAs again just to confirm what's happening. But the ETAs will be high if we go for recents. Look at Kerry Harris, cheapest. The recent velocity made good is 6.2 knots, which he won't be able to hold that. So that's like his average for the last the last couple of postings, 14th of May. So even that's distorted. But nonetheless, yeah, that's cool. All right. So that's it, I think, for the tracker. There's not a lot else I can talk about there. Interesting to see what's like overall. If I had to pick averages, how far is the fleet spread apart? Spread apart over about 300 miles. 300 miles, that's not too bad. 100 mile a day, it's 3 days on the fleet after 2 weeks. Still pretty good, but hopefully it'll all start to compress a little bit. No, it won't. When they get to the trades, it'll slowly start to stretch. But that's still pretty good. There's a few groups there. I call this the lead group, the top four. Sorry, Dan and Ayrton, you don't cut it yet, but keep up the good work. Canadam, you got the miles there. You might progress to the front group, and this is the sort of middle group, and then there's the tail enders, which will be, I reckon it's going to be Gary and Josh, but let's wait and see what happens. Oh, what we didn't do, I knew there was something. We didn't actually go through the weather over the next couple of days to see what's going to happen to Gary and the rest of the fleet, because there was that hole catching up. So let's put it there. I'll slide this down the back so we can see what's going on. Remember, this is the equator there. Gary will be over here with the last one, except for 9900. And this is, you can see where 5 degrees is. Renaud is probably right on 5 degrees. And so you might see these trades drop down a little bit. Let's now just start progressing that through. Here we go, the 10th. There's a bit of a soft one coming up the back, but as we predicted a few days ago, everyone should be into that except for Josh. It's only going to be the tail ender that gets affected. That's the 10th, that's tomorrow. And then it goes through again, so there's breeze. So everyone's pretty much sailing. Well, for Gary, I'm just going to go forward again now. He's got a hole, so for now he's got a breeze, following breeze, which is quite cool. Dropping down. Yeah, you can see it's cutting back to 5 degrees and holding there. This is 5 days away. This is a week away. I'm doing 125 days. So that's 600 miles. So 600 miles from the leaders will be about here somewhere. Look at that, 668, not bad. So they've got plenty of breeze for the next week. Oh, look at that. There's a puff of yellow there. That means it's pushing into the low 20s. That's going to increase the speed. So we're going to see some impressive runs again, into the, a lot of the fleet will be doing 110, 120, 130 mile days. So that's pretty cool. Okay. I think we've done everything I need to look at there. So we will come back and say g'day. Okay, now first, before I forget, I'm gonna. Jeepers, I can't do it because it was a sound recording, and I don't want to. Don't want to. Jeepers, what was he talking about? He was certainly having fun. And I got some great photos from Jasmine. I just felt like Donald Trump then. It was horrible. Anyway, we're not political, but we were looking for pictures for the press release, and we had. I thought I'd steal some of Jasmine's because she's always great with the photos. And I went through all her past Facebook posts, and every photo was vertical, like as a portrait, not landscape. And for press releases and stuff, we can't use vertical; they don't fit anywhere. So they always have to be landscapes. I said, "Oh bugger, I can't pitch any of hers." And it was the same with all her videos. And then, without contacting her mum, which is her manager, I put a post up to remind all the managers, say, "Hey, look, just reminder," because I reminded them about a week ago. I said, just make sure you film some landscape videos and photos for us, for the film, for the doco, and all that sort of stuff. And so on this post, I put, and here's an example. Tried to get some Jasmine photos, and there's nothing I can use. And then her mum popped up and says, "Oh, I got some." So she sent me some great stuff. So she had a bigger file there. They've got the stuff, but they weren't posting it. So I got the copies. So you'll see, you'll see a Jasmine photo in amongst the press release tomorrow. And for the life of me, I cannot think of what Dan was doing, but he's having a good time. What the heck? I don't think I'm going to play this for you.
Good morning, Don. Dan Turk here. Just wanted to touch base in regards to my YB3.
It's a YB3 problem. That's right.
At the
sorry. Okay, I know what it was. I forgot. His YB3, you might have noticed he was 3 positions off track. So he was 4 o'clock. He missed the 8, 12, and 14. I didn't pick it up until the end. We often get a boat that misses 1, maybe 2, but very rarely 3. We don't usually react and contact YB3 until the 3rd one because there's a glitch in the system and it just fixes itself and carries on. But Dan got to 3 and I didn't notice the 3rd one. So, but anyway, it sorted itself on the next one. So he was back on track. And then we just had a natter and he's certainly having a good time. If you haven't watched Jacob's video, which Jane put up on YouTube today, make sure you do it. So it's a classic. It's just a compile of all his bits. She forgot on one of them to put the Wind Pilot video clip in it, but she's done it again somewhere else, she said. But it's great. He's full of emotion, that guy, and it was very moving, his experience going over the equator and stuff. Everyone filmed something, and Jacob's was unique. They were all different, I suppose, in their own way, because every sailor's different, but it was a nice thing to watch, so make sure you see that one. We just popped up, increased our subscribers and everything by about 150 the other day. So my plea for everyone must have worked. Now I'm probably pleading to the regulars here already. So thanks for subscribing and liking and doing all that stuff. It helps us a lot. But we did get a jump in numbers, which is good to see. So thanks for that. What else is happening? That's about all. So g'day, Adrian. G'day, Dr. Fingers. Oh, there's some great handles there. Hello from Canada. Canada. Jovia. Good afternoon. I hope everyone is well. Stay strong and go forward. Thanks. Yep, everyone's having a good time. It's interesting when you write the press release, and you'll see it tomorrow. We talk about different things, and one of them was there is no doubt that probably all, if not most, of the entrants are having downtimes. And by downtime, I don't mean just sit back and relax. I mean questioning why they're there and what they're doing. They're all having a good time, that's for sure. But some people are missing family. Some people are wondering why they're doing it. Some people are questioning, just their own reality. You get a lot of time to think on the boat. It happened to me when I just did it on the Transat in 21. So it's very interesting what's going on in the fleet. And it's quite an epic adventure. So very cool to watch. We're getting a lot of positive feedback from people that are following. It's not enough people following. There is a good group of people following, but it should and could be more. But I think that'll come as time goes by, because sometimes we forget the perspective of what's happening. Little boats all the way around the world, all lots of stuff. We're just starting it, but watch this space. So it's all good. G'day, Nigel. Yeah, you shouldn't miss it. Jeepers, you've been travelling. All right, I'll accept your apology, Nigel. Thank you. Joke joke. Captain Joey's there. John's there. Hi, John. Hitting light from the Chesapeake. Oh, good on you, Jonathan. In Chesapeake Bay. Tamarack, Florida. That's cool. Now that's a fun beep. This is. We used to. What did we use this for? It's funny. I had it back there. I wanted a honker when I got. There it is. We used to use this for the GGR, and now it was on my desk. It was actually. From the cheapest. Oh boy, talk about dementia and Citran and all that sort of stuff. My mother got dementia and I'm getting it as well. Stuart from Citran gave me this. He's a great one for visuals and sound, and we used it in the GGR for something. Every time something happened, we would go boom, and I can't remember what it was. So we'll keep that for a new record. Every time there's a faster speed, we'll give it a conk. Looking forward to finding out about Jacob's steering problem. Yeah, he must have solved it. If he hadn't solved it, he'd be all over us. He'd be saying, "Oh, I got a hand steer" and all that sort of stuff. So whatever it is, I'm pretty certain he's solved it. The Wind Pilot's a pretty good vein, and they work. But it was a second-hand one because the builder of I shouldn't say it. I'll have another heart palpitations, but he won't be watching. The builder of the Wind Pilot refuses to sell a Wind Pilot to any 580 builder because they're associated with me. So the people who got Wind Pilots have to get them on the black market or get them second hand or do whatever. And I think Jacobs was a second hand one. So there you go. So it's a great backstory there. The Mini Globe Race, Wind on Water. The homepage shows a live Q&A with Don in the bottom right-hand corner with a coming soon pop-up. When is this expected? That's interesting. The Mini Globe Race. Live Q&A. I tend to do the Q&As on the back of this, but the problem with that is that people don't know when I'm popping up, so it's hard to get on. So I'll put another one up now. That gets a bit tricky even as well because YouTubers can't get onto Facebook to do it. But I'll do another Facebook one, and then I'll do another one later, and I'll see how many questions there are there. I don't know whether there'll be many because a lot of the things get answered here, but I'll put it up, and let's just see what happens. You'll see the box with the question in it, and then put your questions below the comments, and then I'll try and, once we've got a few questions there, I'll do a direct live here to answer all those questions. And then the next one I'll do it on YouTube, which to do that, we've got to film a little 2-minute or 1-minute YouTube video that we put up just to let the YouTube followers know, and they can put their questions in the comments at the bottom of that YouTube one. So that's what we'll do. So, yeah, I'll do that. I'm not sure where it says coming soon on the Q. What am I calling it? Oh, that's the boxes. That's what it is, yeah. We've done 1 or 2, I think. Yeah, I know where you are now on the homepage when you pop down how to follow the race. And it's got all the boxes there in the bottom one. Coming soon. Yes, they're already there. And I think Rob might not have put the previous one we did linked to that because we've done 2, I think. But I'll do one right now at the end of this. I'll put one up. And if you've got questions, just stick them there. G'day, Christine. Gunnar, cheers from Sweden. That's it. Okay, we're done. So I think there's not a lot else to talk about. I'll see you tomorrow. And thanks for following, liking, sharing, all that sort of stuff. It's all pretty cool. See you later.
There's history in the making. The McIntyre Mini Globe Race 2025.
Mr. Thing.
Small boat, huge adventure.
Okay, see ya.